Hey everybody, welcome to Toku Portal Podcast. I'm Rai, and with me is...
Did it decay?
And the Little King.
And today we're talking about Uchuu Sentai KyuuRanger episode 42. So we start off with a recap from Tsurugi. Donarmage eagerly awaits the KyuuRangers and asks Dr. Anton if preparations are ready. He laughs and says, yeah, pretty much. So he's got a trick up his sleeve. Wonderful. Raptor and Hami walk into the bridge and report that Garu is okay, but he's still sleeping. He has Caesar by his side. Sho tells everyone that this is the final battle against Shark Matter and that there may be more casualties. Lucky is still conflicted about how to handle Aslan.
Hey Decade, uh, can you repeat that last note again? An ambulance drove by my window, so I don't know how well that caught.
Okay. Um, so Sho tells everyone that this is the final battle against Shark Matter and that there may be more casualties. Lucky is still conflicted about how to handle Aslan, his father. Tsurugi asks him if he would choose between his father and the galaxy, and Lucky cannot confidently respond. And then we get the episode title, Base 42, Your Father or the Galaxy, Lucky's Resolve. The battleship enters the planet, which is mostly hollow with the exception of a few cities. The Rangers notice the planet's core, however, they are immediately attacked. Raptor and Naga analyze the core while the others deploy in their mechs and Voyagers. Tsurugi clutches his chest in pain, however. And then we get the opening. Thoughts?
More emotion from Lucky, so that's something at least. Yeah, like you were saying, Decade, I liked, how it's a different contrast for him. He's not nearly as confident, he's extremely shaken, he knows right from wrong. That doesn't mean he wants to accept it, and that's a tough challenge for any of them, really, and hell, we've even touched on it here and there in the show already, so to see it come full circle on Lucky of all people, I think is a good touch on their part. And they did a really good job with Southern Cross, I think. Like, making the planet seem larger on the inside, like a friggin' universe inside a planet. That's actually pretty cool. And of course, seeing Dr. Anton always means shit's gonna go down, so that's something at least. And I like that they were confident, like, no, this is the base, it's gonna be heavily guarded. Of course they're gonna get attacked on the bat, so good on them for keeping their confidence.
I do like that Lucky is put into this situation of what are you going to do? Lucky seems to Lucky has had it too good for like his whole just go in and figure it out. It's long overdue that he actually has to make a decision. And Surugi is absolutely right. If you spend too long being indecisive, you're just gonna lose everything, and then you'll just be worse for the wear. Make a decision.
Yep. So the battle. Oh no, I already got that. Yeah, the Rangers fighting their Voyagers and mechs against a horde of enemies. Lucky snaps out of his anxiety after taking a few hits in Kireno. Mariko contacts Tsurugi telling him that Don Armage wants a private conversation with him. Don Armage seems to have the answers Tsurugi seeks. And then we cut to Don Armage and he pretty much just tells Aslan, kill Lucky. Naga and Raptor report to Sho that the core is filled with compressed planesium and is a giant bomb that could destroy the whole galaxy. Yeah, that's pretty bad. The Rangers defeat the first wave, but before they can head for the core, a giant three-headed golem appears, with the heads of the vice shogun. Anton calls this abomination Akyachuga. Yeah. uh, so Lucky deploys an Orion Battler, while the others take cute Hamajin. And I probably need to increase my mic a bit. That should be better. But yeah, it pretty much just absorbs their finishers. Before the fight can finish, Aslan appears before the battler's cockpit, breaks the Qtama, and fights Lucky inside the ship. The fight leads to the bridge, but Aslan injures Naga and Raptor before they can start change. Yeah, so before I continue, that was pretty damn crazy. What did you guys think?
Lucky going through an anxiety phase, especially with everything that's been going on in the show. I'll be honest, kind of hits a little hard to home around this time of year. Like, everybody's always stressed out, and it feels like you're juggling 50 things at once. Lucky a bit more so, but point still stands. I know there's been a lot of hate towards the little fusion project of the Vice Shoguns. Honestly, I don't mind it. At least they look, you gotta admit, when they do something, at least they go all out, whether we love it or hate it. And I know a lot of people are gonna hate this, but I mean, they stuck with it all the way. They didn't half-ass the suit at least, so. And they kept all the voices, thankfully. So, and I mean, they did show they had a tough time with it. So, I mean, at least there's that. They didn't just half-ass him in design. They went all the way with how he looked and how it fought. So, yeah, I can't really say much on what happens after. So,
The suit still does not look great. The three heads cluttered on top, like, together the way they are, and the whole triangle body. If this was like an 80s Sentai, then they might get away with it, but today it feels really weird. Although I do like the general concept of this episode. The primary portion of this episode takes place in the mechs, and I love that idea, and I think this episode did a really good execution of it. Props to them for doing this.
Yep. Um, so, yeah, Tsurugi leaves to help, and Ryutei Kureno is left to fight. Lucky is unable to reason with Aslan. Tsurugi throws Aslan out of the ship and orders them to use the stealth. The battleship is hidden for now. The Rangers in the mech retreat as well. On the bridge, Tsurugi calls Lucky out, but Lucky said he will kill Aslan. Yeah. Hami can't believe that he's giving up so easily, but Lucky feels that he has to choose between saving his father or the galaxy. So he's taken Tsurugi's words a bit too literally, and can't really blame him since he's just so conflicted. So yeah, he leaves the bridge. Stinger follows after him. Sho and the others wonder why Don Armage would want to blow up the galaxy. That's a good point. Why the hell would you conquer the entire galaxy just to blow it up? Only Tsurugi has the chance to get an answer. Naga proposes that they modify the black hole Qtama to suck up the explosion of the bomb, which is pretty crafty. So Stinger angrily confronts Lucky, telling him not to disillusion them, acting like Stinger did in the past with his situation with Scorpio. He says that Tsurugi wants Lucky to make a decision because he believes in him. If he wants something to happen, he should make the luck required for it to happen. I'll admit this wasn't the easiest speech to translate into English, but I still think it was decent, especially coming from Stinger. That was nice. What did you guys think?
I do agree with you on Lucky, like, taking the words a bit too literally, because, I mean, in the state he's in, it makes sense, but you gotta remember, this is also Lucky. Like, he I'll be honest, he's not the smartest. They've shown time and again that he doesn't exactly have this best head for strategy and all that. So something like this, it feels normal for him. So it doesn't feel too out of place that he would take the words literally. And you can tell he doesn't want to. Even it's made clear that he doesn't want to choose, but he has to. Tsurugi's words put him in a position where he felt like he has to. And as for Tsurugi, I'll just get my thoughts out of the way on him now. What the hell Don wants with him, I genuinely have no clue what's going on with him. Like, what's with the pain? Why would Don want anything to do with him at this point? I don't know, and I can't really speculate on that with what I have, so I'll leave it at that. And Stinger, confronting Lucky on that, very, very nice. And I know, like you say, it's not the best translation on most fronts, but I still feel like it got the point across. Like, Lucky was there for Stinger when he went down almost the same road as Lucky is now. Not exactly, but pretty close. And look where it almost landed him. We're lucky to have him now, but yeah, I don't think any of us want Lucky going down that path, so I like that it was Stinger was the one to show him back down that road.
Stinger's speech was great. I didn't really think that the translation was that confusing. I thought it was pretty. I thought they did a really good job with it. And like when as soon as Stinger started approaching, like I knew what was happening. It's like, oh yeah, Stinger had to like deal with Scorpio. He was pretty much in a similar situation to this. Uh, but in the end, yeah, Lucky just has to make a decision. He just can't sit around being like, well, I don't want to, but I don't want, like, do something. Keep crying about it, and you won't get anything done. As for what, I don't know what's going on with Tsurugi's pain. Probably a side effect of something that happened that we probably don't even, like, probably like, the way it was sealed away or something. Maybe Darnamage did something to him that, like, wasn't clear to us before. Either way, that's probably what Darnamage wants to talk to him about. It's like, yeah, he should be feeling the effects of it by now.
I actually have a much more sobering theory that this all ties back to the time when Tsurugi pretty much used his life force to save Lucky. And that would be pretty fucking sad.
Oh, you think that's the repercussions?
Yeah, I think it's finally catching up to him.
I actually don't remember this.
Okay, remember when Lucky was almost dead when Don shot him in the stomach and Tsurugi did the whole flame revive
Oh, in the
thingy?
past, that's right. Now I remember.
Yeah.
So basically, this could be that finally catching up with him?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I can
But
see that,
it could
actually.
be
And
something totally different.
Don knows about him and his power, so it probably makes sense he'd know that Tsurugi did that, because obviously Lucky's alive. So, yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, Sho goes over the plan again. After some discussion, Lucky walks into the bridge, determined to save both his father and the galaxy, believing in his luck. Garu stumbles in as well, and he says he's ready to join the fight. He was healed thanks to Caesar. The Rangers take off in high spirits, and Tsurugi pulls Sho aside, pretty much gonna tell him the plan. So the battleship's stealth ends, and Akyachuga appears, but Super Kireno, Ryuteo, and Giganho ambush it. However, they struggle to defeat it with Kukuruga's absorbing skill and a Kyanba turning Orion Battler against them. That was pretty rough. However, Super Kireno frees Battler by sniping a Kyanba's speaker. The Rangers defeat the giant with the Orion Big Bang Cannon, the mech bazooka. Love it. Tsurugi takes off to the core before the others can react. So, before I move on, what did you guys think of all that?
I forgot to say earlier, but I think it works a little bit better here. I do like that most of this episode was the mech swords. I like what you guys were saying on that, and this, I think, was really the pinnacle of it. Like, them finally beating this fusion. I don't even want to call it a soldier. Let's call it an it. But, yeah, the fact that they were using all of their powers, like Kukuruga absorbing the friggin' wrecking ball from Tetsu, Akyanba being the siren again. Thankfully, not affecting Naga, so yay on that. But I thought it was clever that they used that on, like, Orion Battler and using the different advantages and disadvantages in the fight, I thought worked very well. Megazord choreography, I don't think I've seen in a long time. You can remind me if I'm wrong, but I did like this nonetheless. And the fact that Tsurugi's going after the freaking bomb? Yeah, I don't know what's going on that end either, like I said, but damn am I eager to find out.
I agree. This was the best execution of like combining the three of them together into one monster. The mech fight episode here was really good. I actually really like this episode. Uh, I even love the gag of like their attack doesn't really hurt them. Like, oh, that didn't hurt at all. But then, wham! Just out of the sky. Forget who it was that tackled them, but props to them. This this also like was another really good example of like everyone working together and really feeling like a Sentai at this point. I really look forward to how the rest of this final arc is going to play out.
Agreed. So yeah, Tsurugi takes off. Sho informs them of Tsurugi's plan to meet Don Armage. Balance has completed the black hole device. The battleship makes a rough landing on the planet's core. Sho and Raptor stay behind to protect the ship. Sho gives a little inspirational speech before the Rangers attack, and we get a little bit of out-of-suit fight. And Tsurugi confronts Don Armage. Well, hologram Don Armage. But that's the end of the episode. Any final thoughts?
I really liked the final scene, like Sho acting like a commander, yay on that part, but here like it was rallying the troops. This is gonna be our last battle. It doesn't matter how many casualties we are in, we are this. Leaving it on the cliffhanger it did with Tsurugi and Don, I thought was very good, but very irritating at the same time, so it works. Them getting into the fight like that, I really liked, and this felt like the start of the end. I know that this show's had a lot of ups and downs with like its plot heavy and its silly parts, but it always, to me at least, felt like the threat was still kind of there. Like you could still feel like, okay, we beat this monster, but we still have name list here of these guys to deal with. But now, this is it. There's no coming back from this. There's nothing else left. We win or we die trying. And this seriously felt like the start of an anime arc. Like, all of this leading up to this final, humongous, climactic battle. Everything just stacking on top of each other just to lead to Donna Manga's end. It felt freaking awesome this episode. And oh my god. And keep in mind, this is what, 42 now? And we know that the next Sentai is supposed to air on February 11th. So we still have little less than 2 months. That's still 7 to 8 more episodes of this. So God knows how they're gonna pull this off. Like, is this part gonna be a two-parter, and then they're just gonna start another thing with whatever's going on with Tsurugi? Are they just gonna keep this going? We don't
7
know.
episodes. I
Thank
just
you.
counted. Thank you. Thank you for telling me when the next one is airing.
But seriously though, like, we don't know what they're gonna do with this now, because this seriously feels like the end is coming. So how the frick are they gonna end it? I can't wait to find out though.
More curious than that. I'm wondering how they're gonna handle like the Christmas and New Year stuff, because they always do like it's like a happy thing, and then we take a little cool down for New Year's, and then roll into the final arc. But here we are, already at the final arc pre-Christmas. Like, I guess like a big Lucky reuniting with his dad is going to be like the whole Christmas thing. Uh, it's I wonder if they kind of planned that, or if that just kind of snuck up on them and they're just rolling with it. Uh, Other than that, like I said, I really like this episode. I really like the concept of just spending pretty much the entire episode in mechs. And for the most part, we got to see. Nothing felt like it was just kind of getting lazy about it too. Like it was all getting rehashed. Like the way that they were fighting just stayed fresh throughout. And there were still things that they didn't do. Like Naga and Balance have their own personal like humanoid mechs that they didn't even use. They could have kept going as far as I know.
Yeah. Final thought for me is, yeah, this episode is really good. I had goosebumps at multiple points watching it the first time through. So, yeah, it definitely kept me on edge, and I'm really enjoying the sense of teamwork and urgency and seriousness that the show is getting into. And yeah, I'm completely surprised that this is episode 42. Where do we go from here for another 7 episodes? Who knows? But I'm looking forward to finding out. So thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah. Yet another emotional roller coaster on there, and that was very well done. I was happy, I was sad, I was tense, I was thrilled, and I really just am curious to see what's next, and I cannot wait to find out. But I think that's just gonna do it for me. Later, taters.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow with Kamen Rider Build special this Thursday. Some of us are going to get together to do a podcast on the new Star Wars movie. I won't be there, but some of the others will. And then this Friday, we are looking at doing a podcast for episode of Stinger. It originally aired way back earlier, but we weren't able to like watch it until recently. So now we can finally do a podcast on it. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.